Today I want to tell you the story about Dan Burish and the JRod. It's very simple. There was a real alien. It came from the Zeta Reticuli star system. It was known as a JRod, but it had a secret name. Kaela. Maybe I'm not pronouncing that right. Whatever, the society that the alien came from was not supposed to have a name at all. It's kind of interesting too, because apparently Majestic 12, who were hosting the alien at Area 51 in what was called the ambassadorial suite, which was attached to a large open area known as the clean sphere, because it closely replicated the native climate that Kaela came from. Even they didn't know some of these things for many years. For one thing, they never knew that the poleshift, as alleged by Kaela, was to happen, if it were to happen at all, on March 28th of 2009. That alone should be stunning to most of you watching and hearing this for the first time. So, for those that are unfamiliar with this story of Kaela, the JRod from the Zeta Reticuli star system, he was a member of a secret society from his home world. And this was the origin of the secret name that he had. He was a traitor to his people. And one of the reasons why, according to Dan Burish, is that he had a son who was taken from him at an early age by the community, because that was their way, and turned over to the state, to the community, to raise him. Now, if you understand that children are newborn flesh suits for reincarnating souls, and that is, if they are not destined to spark their own soul, and that parents are really merely the stewards for the new soul, it would be easy to understand why this community on Kaela's home planet felt the way that it did. But there is always the possessive impulse amongst any parent. Now, for basic background information, Kaela the JRod from Zeta Reticuli star system arrived on Earth officially in the month of April, maybe it was May, it was around this time, 1953, when his ship crash-landed near Kingman, Arizona. Kaela was then taken to Area 51, and a certain section of that facility, actually the S4 facility, was retrofitted for Kaela's habitation. However, he suffered from a neuropathic disorder, neuropathy, in which his nervous system was breaking down, and this was allegedly a result of his time traveling. Now, officially, humans cannot travel through time, but also officially, according to Kaela, amongst other encounters with other aliens from the Zeta Reticuli star system, there is a group of aliens that made the treaty with Majestic 12, some from 45,000 years in our future, and some, like Kaela, who came from 52,000 years in our future. And according to them, the Zetas that were in the Roswell crafts, and yes, there were two of those, were from 24,000 years in our future. Linearly, our future. Understanding the paradoxes that are contained within even a limited understanding of time travel, was a result of, rather, in order to understand them, Majestic 12, in conjunction with their extraterrestrial allies that claimed they were from our future, provided what was known as the DCTP, or Doctrine for Convergent Timeline Paradoxes. At least this is the way it was explained to Dan Burrish. Now, I understand that many of you are quite discombobulated, or you've turned away in disgust from listening to this story, this tale of the U.S. government's interaction with an alleged extraterrestrial. Yes, we have to use alleged because it may be that they're not only from another planet, another world, they may be ultra-dimensional as well as extraterrestrial. We do know that they are ultra-dimensional, but this is where the rubber meets the road. The central issue when it comes to aliens and humans is that we are being cultivated, our souls are being cultivated on this soul ranch. This world is a soul farm, a soul garden. And our keepers, our gardeners, are ultra-dimensionals as well as extraterrestrials. Now, in order to further understand this soul garden, this soul ranch that we call Earth, you have to understand that all of us are on different paths spiritually. We're at different stages of our development spiritually. According to the Zetas that are working with Nancy Leader as their emissary, there is only about 1 billion out of the approximately 7 billion souls we currently have on the planet. Actually, let me retract that. It's 7 billion humans. Allegedly, only 1 billion have Terran-born souls. That is, souls that have been raised over a number of lifetimes here on planet Earth, or Terra. Another 1 billion of the humans that are existing currently on Earth contain souls from other worlds, commonly known as star children. Now, these star children are nominally here either to assist us, and for the most part they are here to assist us in developing our souls enough so that we can make an informed decision as to which orientation of the two we're going to choose ultimately. However, other souls, other star children souls, are dumped here or sentenced here. Many of them go on to choose lifetimes of crime and selfishness, and in that way they also help to temper the souls that are being raised here. And yes, there are many, many extraterrestrial and ultra-dimensional entities that are in attendance from the higher dimensions, and they are here to inspire us, so that when we plead or pray or call to them, or call to the universe, or call to God, or whatever else our belief system entails, it is because of those pleadings and those cries and those desires that these inspirations then come to us and have helped to foster some of our most magnificent discoveries, our most amazing discoveries, such as alternating current in the case of Nikola Tesla. It's one of the most well-known examples. But even in the fields of art and entertainment, many of those inspirational elements of culture have come from these star children, as well as Terran, earthborn souls. And the vast majority of humans, it doesn't mean that they're zombies or soulless, because they all have the potential to spark a soul of their own. And even among the 1 billion souls that are here that are of Terran-born origin, many of them are on different paths. Some may have had 2, 3, 10 lifetimes, others 900. 1,000 lifetimes, which is normally what it takes before we are allowed to graduate to the next dimension. Now that's just a basic background of our alien heritage and our alien interaction, especially as it regards the JRod from Zeta Reticuli, known as Kaela, that Dan Burrish worked with. And yes, Dan Burrish, despite the fact that he went on to present himself as much of an absurd clown on the internet, may have done so specifically because the message that he carried was too important to show seriously to the world because of the reaction that could have ensued. One of the main reasons why these aliens broke into our consciousness, in fact broke the quarantine sometime before World War II, and told us about a forthcoming pole shift during which this world would be transformed and would finally graduate to a world in which only those entities who were adjudged to be mature enough to belong to a community of souls, kindred souls, that wanted to work together and cooperate and enjoy the creation, and those souls who had not matriculated would be taken to a different world to complete their studies, or if they had decided definitively to join the dark side, they would be taken to those prison planets where they could enjoy the creation with others of their own kind and go on to subvert other worlds as fallen angels, much as ours was subverted when this genetic experiment began here on Earth. The stark truth that Majestic 12 wants to hide from this world, except for those who may have unfortunately stumbled across it, is that we are destined to be harvested and to be cleared away. This entire civilization, this experiment, has run its course. Those tempered souls that I just spoke of a moment ago will graduate to their various destinies. Some will return in the new hybrid forms and the new model of humanoid that we, some of us, that is, call the Zeta Reticulan, or the Homo Reticulus, rather than Homo sapiens. And those will be the bodies that have been created through the abductions that took place over the 1970s, 1980s, 1960s, even the 1990s. Those hybrid bodies are awaiting animation by souls that will be coming in equal measure from the Zeta Reticulans, who have taken upon themselves the responsibility to help shepherd this planet through the transformation, through the pole shift. And they were granted this responsibility and the rights that accrue with it by the Council of Worlds. In any case, they will be settling here and overseeing the development of the newer communities of these hybrids. And as I mentioned a moment ago, the souls incarnating in those hybrids will be in equal measure Zeta Reticulans from their home world, which they have unfortunately destroyed, and they have learned the error of their ways and have asked for this second chance. And those human souls who have proven that they can handle the requirements of a mature galactic community. And after the transformation takes place, which is, according to the Zetas that Nancy Leader is the emissary for, will take place approximately over a course of 100 years. At the end of those 100 years, all of present-day mankind, all of the flesh suits that we know as Homo sapiens, even those that may be born and may survive through the cataclysms, will be finally cleansed from the earth. And all of the destructions that we have inflicted on the body of Mother Earth will have been completed by then, and the earth healed anew. The new race will then go on to continue forth lesson or rather fourth density spiritual lessons. Those who are judged to be too cruel and evil for this world will be taken to their worlds of fallen angels, as the religious would call them, to hopefully change their ways and choose the right path, but they may never do that. Their souls may be permanently extinguished, which is the sentence that is meted out to those souls who have definitively chosen the dark side and against the Creator. The Creator doesn't want yes men or yes women. He or she, it wants those entities who have been given free will and have used it freely, and used it freely to judge the Creator and to choose the path of love. And that, boys and girls, is the basic lesson of the origin and destiny of the human race.